How to handle customer service. Anyone who's ever held a job working with customers knows how difficult it can be to stay calm and keep everybody satisfied day in and day out. The following are the steps that can help you to handle every customer with confidence. Developing good service habits. Number 1. Take pride in your ability. Employers often talk about taking pride in your work, but as service workers, work isn't all that exciting. In lower level service jobs, you may not be treated as though you have much personal ability, simply not the case. It takes both perseverance and social skills to handle customers. Number 2. Put your best foot forward. A best way to handle customer is to never give them a chance to dislike you. A big part of that is making a positive impressions. Dress neatly in clean clothes, bath regularly and brush your teeth. Use deodorant every day. Walk with aces strides, make eye contact, and speak in a loud but clear and relaxed voices. Number 3. Start with a smile, leaving your own worries, fears, annoyance, and insecurity at home each day. It is an easy next step to teach yourself to smile and be genuinely glad to greet every customers, even your co-workers, and to your boss. Don't be self-conscious. Number 4. Leave yourself at home is one of the most important skills a customer service can learn, as it often what separates the happiest workers from miserable ones. You're only at work to do a good job and get paid. The customer is talking to you because you need service. Number 5. Don't take things personally. Customers don't really have much invested in what they say about you. They're just reacting in the heat of moment, for better or worse. Just let everything they say slide over you and disappear, but continue providing the best service you can to each customers, regardless of how they react. Be proud if you receive a good compliment. However, don't take it as a cue to stop striving to provide a better service. Number 6. Take your customers seriously. Many a young or inexperienced service employees has fired by a manager for scooping or rude customer request. The fact is, you should always assume the customer is serious. A customer very rarely kid, or there's no way to know what's going on through their mind as they speak to you. Be pleasant and earnest when you respond, even their words sounded. Number 7. Be humble. A humble worker embodies all the qualities outlined above. She or he provides consistent service regardless of the customers or the customer's attitudes, smile, and tries to get along with everyone who crosses her or his path, and doesn't let personal misgiving or rough transaction color their action. Number 8. Don't rush customers. You should always be in a rush to help them, but it can take all the time you need. If a line or queue is building behind an exceptional slow customers, see if you can get someone else to take your line. If nobody else can help, continue to smile and be pleasant.
The following are the steps that will tell and help you on how to handle every customer with grace and confidence. Problem customers and customers' complaints. Learn more than just the rules. Most service businesses have a clear set of rules for their workers. Sometimes mollifying and irate customers is just a matter of showing them. You'll make an exception in their case, so learn how to do it safely. Skip a beat. The customers sometimes drop all routines of politeness and say something rude or mean. If you can directly respond to an insult as though you didn't even realize it was meant as an insult, that is even better. Kill them with kindness. Doesn't mean being passive or aggressive. It means responding to a irate customer the same way while you respond to your favorite customer. It's perfectly fine to gripe about customers, but do it well away from where other customers can hear you, and do it after they left. Talk to your management. When there is a recurring problem, customers, it is up to your hotel management team to set a policy for dealing with them. Know your limits. The words "the customers is always right" is a guidelines for service, not a degree allowing customers to walk all over you. Doing anything you can reasonable to do make your customers happy is very difficult, from ensuring humiliation, and abuse in your job. If the customers still won't stop attacking you, you get help from your fellow employees. Stand your ground. Staying calm and collected is the most important thing in this situation. Don't raise your voice or say anything rude, and don't sob or cry. Don't even let yourself smile or frown.
How to measure a customer lifetime value? Calculating customer lifetime value is a way to estimate the monetary value a customer brings to your business during the life of your relationship with him. Keeping careful record is an essential to being able to accurately measure a customer value. Here are the steps. First, calculate the cost of earning a new customer. Identify your annual marketing expenses. Next, establish the number of customers you have annually. Last, divide the marketing cost by the number of customers you have each year to determine the cost of earning a new customer. Second, determine the average first purchase amount by each new customer. Make a list of first purchase totals. Sort the figures on the first purchase list. Discover the number of times most customers make purchases within a set time frame. For example, retail business that sells household necessity may wish to use the time frame of 1 year. However, a business that has a more specialized market, such as appliances sales, may benefit by using longer time frame. The time frame should represent a reasonable length of time that a typical customer could be expected to make a more than one purchase. Fourth, establish an average transactions amount for follow-up transaction by using a less customer transaction. And the average transactions amount puts your customer buying potential into perspective. Fifth, discover the total amount a customer has spent with your business. Add together all purchases of a particular customer during the lifetime of your relationship. Determine the profit on a customer's lifetime purchases based on your typical profit margin. If your profit margin is 25% and the customer lifetime purchases up to 500, the profit you receive from his purchase is 125 pesos. Subtract the customer acquisition cost from the profit of a customer's lifetime purchases to determine the customer lifetime value. Use your best estimates for the requested data if your documented information is unavailable. Not all record-keeping systems supply detailed data. However, consider implementing a record-keeping system that is capable of keeping track of more data if you wish to determine customer lifetime value and other marketing calculation in the future for your business.
How to cook with unprocessed food. Do you know how to use unprocessed and organic food? Do you want to know how to cook without using processed food? Then here are some tips for you. Buy organically. This means buying food that don't have any pesticides in them. Look for the organic seal of approval or even just the word organic. Fruit and veggies should definitely be bought organically, yet some fruits and vegetables are higher in pesticides than others. Peaches, apples, sweet bell pepper, celery, nectarines, strawberries, cherries, lettuce, imported grapes, pears, spinach, and potatoes should be purchased organically because of their higher pesticides amounts. Onions, avocados, frozen sweet corns, pineapples, mangoes, frozen sweet peas, asparagus, kiwi, bananas, cabbage, broccoli, and eggplants don't have to be purchased organically due to their low pesticides amount. Research organic recipes. Try getting books on recipes using organic food. Some good books might include Mosswood Cookbook and Broccoli Forest Cookbook. Most organic foods can still be used in standard recipes, but you need to know how they are made. A lot of processed food like crushed tomatoes are time-saving conveniences. You can get around these using the raw ingredients and other tools such as food processors, blenders, down to basics such as potato mashers, graters, knives, and forks to achieve the same product. Many processed foods contain large amount of salt, sugar, or fats which improve the flavor. When making from scratch, taste the food you cook and season to taste. If you find you need a higher amount of salt than you would prefer, start to wean yourself off it by reducing the salt content and removing the salt shaker from the table. Making your own preserves and pickles is satisfying and makes a good reliable backup as many of the shelf products are full of additives and chemical preservatives. Organic preserves are pretty hard to find, but often you can get them from community fundraisers or town fairs where members have homemade their own jams and many other things to sell. It doesn't always contain organic ingredients, but it is a good cheap alternative. Marinating food in herbs, spices, vinegar, and flavored oils are great flavor enhancer if you find the ingredients become a little similar in flavor. Vary your cooking methods from steaming to include grilling, baking, smoking, braising, and many other things to keep your meals varied and interesting. Eat raw. Almost any fruits or veggies can be eaten raw and are delightful in salads or on their own. You don't have to cook them, as organic food often have a better flavor than their mass-produced counterparts. Enjoy their natural taste.
Cleaning I use wine glass also creates an extra work. Wine glass need to be cleaned after each use to prevent bacteria growth and staining.
Of course, there are some unique challenges that come along with cleaning wine glasses. So here are the following methods on how to clean wine glasses.
Glass carefully by the bowl and not by the stem. The stem is fragile and the glass can break easily if you hold it by that. Instead, cup your hand around the bottom of the bowl with your fingers to either side of the stem.
Rinse each glass well inside and out with hot water. Be sure to get rid of any soap residue. Crystal absorbs odors and flavors easily. If you don't rinse the wine glass well enough, your next glass of wine might have a slight soapy flavor. Place the wine glass upside down on a soft towel so that it can air dry. The soft cloth will help protect the rim from the hard surface of your counter or table.
Learning to store food properly is an essential part of saving money and keeping your customers safe. Use the FIFO system, first in, first out, also known as FIFO, is a common catchphrase used in restaurant kitchens to make sure that the food stays fresh wherever it is stored. Store produce on the counter if it needs to ripen. Fruit should be left to ripen on the counter, either out in the open or loosely in an open plastic bag to promote ripening.
Bananas, peaches, pears, avocado, cassava, and cantaloupe. You can hasten the ripening process by placing these fruits in a paper bag: an avocado, a pear, or a peach, along with a ripe banana. The ripe banana emits ethylene gas, which is a naturally occurring compound found in bananas. This gas hastens the ripening process. Within 48 hours, these fruits will go from being rock hard to ready, ripe, and delicious.
Ways to get rid of fruit flies at home. Store rice and other grains in sealed containers. Rice, oatmeal, quinoa, and other dry grains can be kept in your restaurant kitchen cabinets in tight, sealed containers. How to store root vegetables in paper bags. How to store bread.
Let's talk how to store bread. We can eliminate one option right away. Bread should not be stored in your refrigerator. Storing bread in the fridge may seem like a good way to keep the bread longer, but the cooler temperature draws the moisture out of the bread, making it go stale sooner. Instead, bread should be stored at room temperature. Keep it on your counter, in your pantry, or wherever it is easy for you to access. But make sure you do keep the bread in airtight packaging. Storing the bread at room temperature should allow the bread to keep for about a week. Bread also freezes well. Perhaps you stocked up during a bread sale, or you simply cannot use the whole loaf. Just place the bread in an airtight package. Use a straw to siphon the air out of the bag. Seal it tightly and store it in the freezer. Bread keeps up to 6 months in the freezer. And when you are ready to use it, simply set the frozen bread out on the counter, and it should thaw in about 3 hours.
Keep your restaurant's refrigerator set at the optimum temperature.
May seem like a kitchen no-brainer, but there's actually some science to it. Following these simple refrigeration rules will help keep everything fresher, tastier, and safer. The first thing to know about what to put in your fridge is what not to put in it. Refrigeration can damage the texture or flavor of many fruits and vegetables. For example, bananas will turn black, tomatoes will lose flavor, and sweet potatoes will harden. If you like some of your produce chilled, refrigerate them only when you're about to eat them. Some fruits like peaches and avocados will ripen faster outside of the fridge. Once they reach their prime, you can store them for up to 3 days in the fridge without sacrificing any quality. There are some fruits and vegetables that produce a gas called ethylene as they ripen. And other fruits and veggies are sensitive to it, causing them to spoil faster. Apples, pears, and plums produce ethylene, so keep them separate from broccoli, green beans, and lettuces. Most fridges have bins where you can control the humidity. Unless you want limp lettuce, a good rule of thumb is if it gets misted at the market, keep it in the humidity bin. Mushrooms don't like humidity, so keep them out of the bin and store them in a paper bag. Rules for the rest of the fridge are pretty easy. Keep the fridge below 40 degrees. Since the back is cooler than the front, put dairy there. Place poultry and other meats on a baking tray on the very bottom. If you have seafood, just put it on top. This will prevent dripping and possible cross-contamination. Eggs should be kept in their original carton and not in the door. However, less perishable items like condiments, jams, and sodas should be stored in the door. You can also keep butter you are currently using here, but the rest of it should be stored in a cooler part of the fridge to last longer. Use a leftover case from a 6-pack of beer to help organize sauces and turn it into a tote for your next barbecue. And there you have it, the proper way to refrigerate.